Is this Prince Harry's most damaging moment yet?
Prince William is reportedly formulating a plan to finally strip Prince Harry and Meghan Markle of their HRH titles.
The noise behind the palace walls is swelling, and the tension can no longer be ignored.
When William becomes king, he's going to strip you of your titles, and the world will cheer that. You're out of your mind.
Due to the lack of awareness, the Hill security experts are calling for Harry and Meghan to be formally stripped of their royal title.
The royal family seems finished with quiet diplomacy, as Prince Harry's last real ties to the crown are suddenly facing a very serious threat. This isn't idle chatter or online speculation. It's a high-stakes royal power play unfolding in real time.
They had their HRH titles scrubbed from the royal family's website.
Simultaneously plays the victim.
My castle's too small. The queen is mean to me. They won't let me call myself her royal highness.
There's no more someday about it. This is happening now. According to sources, the drive to strip Harry of his titles isn't hypothetical or just for show. It's already in motion, with concrete steps being taken and reportedly strong support from influential power players within the institution.
You just wait until Prince William is king. I think he's going to put his handsome foot down, and he is going to rock Meghan Markle's world.
There's no more someday about it. This is happening now. According to sources, the drive to strip Harry of his titles isn't hypothetical or just for show. It's already in motion, with concrete steps being taken and reportedly strong support from influential power players within the institution.
I would love reconciliation with my family. There's no point in continuing to fight anymore.
And this is just the start. Those HRH titles didn't vanish from the royal website by mistake. Sources maintain it was a calculated move directly linked to the terms agreed when Harry and Meghan stepped back from royal duties, terms many insiders say were never truly upheld. The deal was supposed to be straightforward: keep the titles but don't use them. Yet small moments keep setting off alarm bells. A striking two-thirds of Brits are
Staggering two-thirds of Brits are calling for Harry and Meghan to be stripped of their HRH title.
Incidents like an eyebrow-raising gift basket card from Meghan have only intensified the situation, signaling to critics that the HRH status may still be quietly exploited behind the scenes, and it's no longer just palace insiders raising concerns. The backlash has spilled into the public arena, especially in Britain, where emotions are running high. Reports indicate a fierce public reaction, with mounting anger directed squarely at Harry and Meghan.
Is it a bad look for Meghan to still refer to herself as a royal?
Many are now demanding Harry and Meghan lose their titles entirely, arguing that clinging to royal status after walking away is completely out of bounds, and the frustration isn't isolated, it's spreading fast, with calls for action growing louder by the day. That puts the spotlight squarely on Meghan, and the question people keep asking is sharp and uncomfortable. If you've publicly quit royal life and made it clear you want out, why hang on to a royal title at all? To many observers, it doesn't just look awkward, it looks messy and calculated, with critics saying it sends the wrong message and keeps reigniting the same controversy again and again. This pressure isn't fading into the background either. It's piling up between public outrage and reported tension inside the palace, and everything points towards serious movement behind closed doors.
They had their HRH titles scrubbed from the royal family's website. Now they are simply known as the Duke and she for Meghan, not his or her Royal Highnesses, which fills me full of joy.
It was agreed with Queen Elizabeth that they will not use the HRH title. That is a long-standing.
With the HRH wipe from the royal website already done, insiders say things are moving fast and key decisions are being lined up right now, with whispers suggesting senior royals have already approved the idea of stripping Harry's titles, meaning, according to sources, it's no longer a question of if, but how and when the final move happens. The catch is that taking a royal title from someone born so high in the line of succession is anything but simple. It would demand an act of parliament, a legal framework, a formal process, and tight coordination. And word is that all of this is already being hammered out behind closed doors. Those quiet, carefully controlled meetings speak volumes, because while the palace may want everything to appear calm and procedural on the surface, Insiders insist there's serious strategy driving every step.
She was on this podcast with her friend Jamie Kern-Lima, who showed a gift basket.
You kind of zoom in here and it says, with the compliments of Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex.
And when strategy is mentioned, one name keeps surfacing: Prince William. Reports suggest the future king isn't simply watching from the sidelines. He's said to be deeply involved, actively shaping a long-term plan to deal with Harry and Meghan once and for all. According to sources, William is already thinking several moves ahead, not just for the current fallout, but for the moment he eventually takes the crown.
Staggering 2/3 of Brits are calling for Harry and Meghan to be stripped of their HRH titles.
Is it a bad look for Meghan to still refer to herself as a royal?
This is shaping up to be a calculated showdown, not an emotional blow-up, and insiders say the reason it's gone this far is straightforward. Harry and Meghan didn't just leave the royal fold. In the eyes of many within the firm, they crossed a line by launching public attacks, dropping bombshells, and turning private family matters into global spectacle. That, they say, is where the fury comes from, and why such drastic plans are now seriously on the table. According to sources, the fallout behind palace walls went far beyond quiet anger or polite disappointment, with claims that the late Queen Elizabeth II was deeply shaken by Harry and Meghan's actions, not only emotionally, but on a personal level that stunned those closest to her. Insiders suggest she became noticeably more guarded, reportedly taking extra precautions during meetings with them, a shift many in royal circles saw as a line that could never be uncrossed. And that's only the emotional side. Another major flashpoint is the widespread belief that Harry and Meghan have been cashing in on their royal status while openly criticizing the very institution that gave them a global platform in the first place.
I don't know how much longer my father has. He won't speak to me because of this security.
Critics argue Harry and Meghan are monetizing their titles, access, and insider experiences while simultaneously attacking the institution that gave them their platform, a contradiction many see as reckless and wildly out of touch. Some commentators even suggest this perceived lack of awareness is exactly why stripping their titles is being seriously discussed. Even within their own camp, sources say there were worries they were skating on thin ice, allegedly trying to separate private use of royal status from commercial gain, but insiders insist that line kept getting blurred. From the palace's perspective, that repeated crossing felt like betrayal, plain and simple. At the same time, Harry's mixed signals only add fuel to the chaos. While the institution feels deeply burned and appears to be preparing to draw a hard line, he occasionally speaks about wanting peace, which creates more confusion and frustration behind palace doors. Officials are quietly weighing their options as the situation grows more tangled. In some interviews, Harry sounds like a man overwhelmed by regret, talking about healing old wounds, missing his former life, and longing for his home in the UK, even claiming his father. King Charles won't speak to him, a revelation that hit hard with the public. All of this leads to the brutal question many keep asking. If reconciliation is what he truly wants, how does that square with reports that senior royals, especially Prince William, are considering whether to strip both Harry and Meghan of their titles?
Prince William plans on stripping both Harry and Meghan of their HRH titles once he becomes king.
Prince William is reportedly formulating a plan to finally strip Prince Harry and Meghan Markle of their HRH titles.
Are these genuine pleas for reconciliation or carefully timed emotions meant to soften the narrative? While Harry talks about peace, critics and some close observers keep directing blame toward Meghan, with a persistent storyline casting her as the chief strategist, the driving force behind the exit, and the architect of their post-royal path. Some go even further, speculating she could eventually distance herself if Harry loses his value, especially if those royal titles vanish for good. Adding to the scrutiny are the numbers. Her popularity in multiple polls has reportedly taken a sharp hit, which critics attribute to what they see as a recurring pattern of presenting herself as the victim.
Very quickly realized this could be a problem because they are separating things. They're saying, oh, we're using it in our private life, but we're not using it commercially.
All this unfolds while she still describes a life steeped in privilege, access, and royal connection. A contradiction that continues to haunt the narrative and keep this royal standoff white hot. It's alleged that Meghan repeatedly highlights grievances about her treatment and status in ways many find hard to accept. And detractors argue this framing consistently casts her as wronged and sidelined, feeding a growing perception that she hasn't been fully transparent about her true motives or her part in the royal fallout. Fair or not, that image has stuck, and it resurfaces every time the story ignites again.
I miss parts of the UK, of course I do. And I think it's really quite sad that I won't be able to show my children my homeland.
The late Queen was so fearful of Harry and Meghan that she wouldn't want to be alone with them.
Queen always used to make sure that she had somebody with her whenever she saw those two, for the reasons that they might be taking photographs or, I don't know, recording or what.
Another accusation that refuses to fade is the so-called a burn every bridgie approach. Critics claim Meghan has a pattern of cutting people off completely, only to resurface when public perception shifts or when projects start to falter. A narrative that's gained traction as more former allies quietly vanish from her orbit. With so much bad blood, public opinion growing colder, and these accusations swirling nonstop, the idea of stripping Harry and Meghan of their titles no longer feels hypothetical. To many, it feels inevitable. And behind it all, plenty believe there's one person simply waiting for the right moment to pull the trigger. With every bit of drama, strategic silence, and careful positioning pointing toward a future king poised to act decisively.